Welcome in, everybody. Josh here, 8-Bit Goonies. Wanted to jump on and make a video tonight. I played some Magic, and I want to talk about it. I had a lot of fun. Went to a pre-release and played against 40 other people, guys and gals, and I went undefeated. I cleaned up. It was a lot of fun. I had a really good deck. I thought I'd go through it with you. I'm not the biggest fan of Universes Beyond. I'll be that right away. I'll be perfectly honest with everybody. Not the biggest fan of Universes Beyond. I am a Marvel fan. Now, when I say I'm a Marvel fan, people usually say, "What's your favorite movie?" I don't have one. I haven't hardly seen any of them. I'm not a fan of the Marvel movies. I'll be perfectly honest. I saw the first Iron Man, and I think I saw Winter Soldier. That- I never saw Endgame. I never saw any of the Black Panther movies. I'd never seen any of the shows. I'm a movie fan, but I'm not a fan of superhero movies. Um, you give me Dolph Lundgren's Punisher, I'll watch that any day, though. When I say I'm a fan of Marvel, this is what I'm talking about. All right, this is what I collect for Marvel. I love my old books. I've been collecting books for a long time. These are just a couple I grabbed off the shelf real fast. I have tons and tons of old school comic books. Marvel, DC, you name it. I collect old horror books, Gold Key, um, the EC horror stuff. Um, uh, yeah, I love the old horror books, but I do love old Marvel, as you can see here. Um, GI Joe, fantastic. GI Joe issue 1, such a good book. Um, man, just just amazing stuff right here. Um, Wolverine number 1. This was growing up, this was a chase book of mine. Now I've got it a perfect, pristine, beautiful copy of Wolverine number 1. So anyway, when I say I'm a Marvel fan, I am, but not how people think. But some of these Marvel cards, they hit me right in the sweet spot because they are we'll get to these at the end, but just a little teaser, some of this stuff is pretty special. So we'll go through some of the spoils at the end. But what I wanted to do is show you the deck that I built. We'll go through it card by card here. Um and it might help you at your pre-release. I think it can also help at draft. These are some synergies, some cards. Again, I lost one game. I lost 0 matches the whole night. I only lost one game, and it was actually the first game of the night because I kept a 2-mana hand. Other than that, though, I did not lose at all. This deck cleaned up again against there was 40 people there, undefeated all night. This deck worked, and I even the last game was obviously against another undefeated person. Very good game, very tense. I went 2-0. They could have went either way. I'll explain how I won, the cards that I used to win, and this is my winning deck right here. So obviously, sealed is 6 packs. You build the best deck you can from the 6 packs. Um, I'll show you first. I wanted to go blue. I pulled these 4 cards in blue. So shield deployment zone. I got 2 of those. Flying 2/2 for 3 that creates a soldier. 1/1 soldier is pretty good. 7 mana, but you can return 2 permanents and create a 6/5 Leviathan with hexproof. It's pretty good. And then Frozen in Ice is obviously a fantastic removal spell. So I really wanted to go blue. Wasn't in the cards. It wasn't happening. There was no other blue support. I did pull the blue white land, rare land. White wasn't happening either. I did pull the Jane Foster hybrid white blue 1 mana. I forget what it does exactly, but there was no synergies for it. So I ended up going Jund. So Jund, for those of you who don't know, is black, red, and green. And you'll see why. Again, this deck, when I first put it together, I wasn't stoked, but by the end of the night, I thought it performed absolutely beautiful. So, first off, we'll start with the mana fixing. So, those are the only two additional mana pieces. And then I ran five of each land. So, I have five forests, five swamps, and five mountains. Um, So this is obviously the tap land enters tap, gain a life, but it fixes for green and white. Sorry, green and red. And then the Baxter building is actually quite good. So it enters untapped, ready to go. Taps for a colorless. You can tap it and 4 mana and add 4 mana in any combination of colors to your pool. And then obviously you can do 4 tap, draw a card, only activate it if you control a creature with 4 or more. You'll see why this card is important later. I did use it once or twice. It wasn't critical in this actually. I probably could have used it again. I almost forgot about that last power on the card. So if you do play with it, remember you can draw a card later in the game. Um, there's so much going on. Sometimes it's hard to remember everything, but that is Baxter Building. I think is a very playable card. So I have one artifact creature in the entire deck. Is the AIM Synthoids. When this creature enters Surveil 2, it's a 1/3 for 2. This card served a few purposes. First off, Surveil 2 is awesome. Being able to fix your draws for the next couple of turns or get rid of stuff if you're land heavy and you got a couple lands up there, put them back in whatever order you want. Surveil 2 is huge, and this is a early game. It's a good blocker early on. There's a lot of small creatures, a lot of 2/3s, a lot of 1/2s, stuff like that coming in. He's a good blocker. He slows the game down. He kind of clogs things up. And if he can attack for 1 or 2 damage, that's great. He's also a good sack outlet, and we'll get to some sack stuff later in the deck. Super strength. This was a card right on the cusp of cutting. I'm glad I didn't. This card actually won me 2 games. 2 games. So it's enchant creature for 5 mana. Enchanted creature gets +4/+4, has trample, and ward 1. So you can't flash it in. It's not an instant speed, like say a giant growth, but it lasts, it sticks. And when you can get that trample and the ward on a creature, I think it's really good. So I think you should consider playing super strength. My typical go-to, I've been playing Magic for 30 plus years. I've been drafting for 20 plus years. I've drafted thousands and I can't even tell you, maybe 5,000 drafts. I can't tell you how many times I've drafted. I've drafted so much. I just have a mind for putting together draft decks. I'm sorry. I don't mean to brag. Honestly, I just know what I'm doing. 13 to 15 creatures. So beyond that, you're looking at 23 cards. So if you're going to get 15 creatures, you only have about 8 cards to supplement your deck. I think this is worth that spot right on the cusp. Like I said, I think it won me 2 games, but kind of contributed to more than that as well. We'll talk about this actually a bit later because it does come into play. I'm gonna set it off to the side over here because I'll show you what I did with that card later. Reptil, the Dino Morpher. He's a 1 mana 1/2, but for 3 mana he becomes a 3/5 with Vigilance and Reach. Or for 6 mana, he becomes a dinosaur with a 6/6 and gains Trample. This card is very versatile. Um, I, I think may have only transformed him 1 time, but he's a 1 mana creature in a deck that I wanted to sacrifice some stuff. That's very useful. Plus, he can be a finisher at the end of the game. He gives you that mana sink, right? A lot of times you run out of cards. You're playing top deck, or you've got one or two cards, but they're kind of situational. It's good to have something to do with your mana. Or if you top deck a 1 mana or 2 mana cost and you've got that additional three to turn him into a 3/5 and swing, that's huge. Or 3/5 to block with reach. He's very versatile. I only transformed him once or twice, but I did use him um, a bit. Ant Man's army was an all-star for me. 3 mana, 3/2. When this creature enters, create a food token or a treasure token. The treasure obviously is mana fixing and ramp all rolled into one. The food token, I've actually played it later in the game, and that 3 life helps. It does help. Plus, he's a good body. 3/2. If you get him down early, he's swinging for 3. I love this card actually. I played it quite a few times. I actually got this into play a lot, and like I said, late game getting the 3 life from the food token, early game getting the ramp, where I could then play a 5 drop, and that's going to be critical as we go through the cards. Playing a 5 drop on turn 4 is huge. This card allows you to do it, and I have other ramp in here we'll show you as well. Here's the other ramp. Another all-star in this deck. Undercover Scroll. 2 mana, 1/1. But as long as there are 2 or more creatures in your graveyard, he gets +2/+2 and is all creature types. That wasn't relevant, but the +2/+2 is huge. And he taps to add 1 mana of any color. Mana fixing, ramp, and a 3/3 body for 2. Unbelievable. This card was an all-star. I played it multiple times throughout the night. He did so much work for me. Love this card. Can't say enough about this card in limited formats. Um, yeah, he's fantastic. Again, he allows you then to play a 4 drop on turn 3 or that 5 drop on turn 4, like we talked about. Huge, huge card here. Love it. I wish I had more of them. All right, so that's it for green. Now we get into the red. Hulk Smash. Teamwork 4. I never actually used teamwork on this card. There's 2 modes. I only used one, but versatility is huge. Having a card that gives you options this is basically like having 2 cards in one. So the first option, destroy target non-creature artifact. I did play against a deck with Quinjet in it, and this could have been used there, but I didn't use it there. Obviously, the second mode is the huge mode. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. It's not a fight, it's a bite. That is huge. They don't have to deal damage back. You just deal the damage to it. You don't take it back. Your creature lives, their creature dies. This card won me the final game of the night. It won me sent me undefeated against the undefeated guy. We'll talk about how that worked. I'll set that aside with super strength as a prelude. Lightning Strike. It's a lightning bolt. It costs 1 more, right? 2 mana. Lightning Strike deals 3 damage to any target. That's huge. Not target creature, any target. That can go to face. That can deal damage to your opponent. That could finish a game. I think I finished 1 game with it, but it's a great removal. You need removal in this game, in limited. So Lightning Strike, awesome. This was honestly my least impressive card in the deck, I think, the Volcanic Villain. 3/2 haste for 3 with the power up of 6, which is put 2/1/1 counters on this creature. I never powered it up. Honestly, I don't even think I attacked with it. I think I sacrificed it once or twice. I didn't see it that much, and I didn't see it early, so I can't really make a judgment on it. But as far as me go, my games went personally, this card didn't do much for me at all. So I can't say yay on it, but it's there. This card, though, did do some work for me. The Crease Sentinel. Again, options are huge. This card gives you options. First off, it's a 5 mana, 5/5. That's a big body. 5/5 is huge in limited. Reach, also very nice. Get those flyers out of the air. But it also has that basic land cycling of 2. In a 3-color deck, there are times where you need to get that third color of mana. This goes and gets you any land in your deck. Basic land anyway, and that's all you need in this situation. So, this card was awesome. It put in its work. It swung. It did some big damage. In fact, you'll see later as we get down in the deck, this card at one point was doing a lot of damage for me. Truck Toss, awesome card. Now, it's 4 mana, 2 red, but it says this spell costs 2 less to cast if you control a vehicle. I don't have a vehicle in the deck, so that line had no meaning to me at all. However, 4 damage to any target. This single-handedly won me one game where the board was getting sticky. I had them down to 4 life. I top decked Truck Toss, 4 to the face. They couldn't stop it. Game 1. Didn't even have to worry about how am I going to squeeze more damage through. Love that. Truck Toss, it's a great removal that can also go face. Huge, huge card. All right, so that's it for red. Now we get into the black. And black is where this deck spread was buttered, and same with the hybrid, the multicolor cards and the hybrid cards. Hydra Infiltration. When this enchantment, it's a 4 mana. When this enchantment enters, target opponent discards 2 cards. But it's an enchantment. It sticks. When a creature you control attacks alone, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. You'll see later, there's a couple cards that are attacking alone. Not only that, this is a villains deck. I don't know if you've noticed the theme, but villain, 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 villain. And we're going to get more villains. And there's a reason why. Villains are good at attacking alone. That extra 2 life swing when you're already getting something through, that's huge. You'll see as we get into the deck, the cards a bit further, why this was so effective. But also making your opponent discard 2 cards. I played this in the finals, and the guy actually grabbed it and wanted to read it because he's like, "Really? Discard 2 cards? Like what?" And sure enough, he had to discard 2 cards. It's juiced. It's powerful. Hydra Infiltration. Great card. Great card. I'm glad I played it. Visions of Villainy. 3 mana, but this card costs 1 less to cast if you control a villain. So every time I cast it, it only costs me 2 mana. You draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Losing 2 life kind of sucks, but I'd give up 2 life any day to draw 2 cards. I played this card multiple times, especially playing it early. You know, you're down to 4 or 5 cards. You play it, you refill to 7. Oh, beautiful. Can't recommend this card enough. I ran into it, opponents playing it as well a few times. We have another villain, Ninja of the Hand. 3 mana, 2/2 Death Touch. With power up, each opponent discards a card. Put a 1/1 counter on this creature. I think I may have played it powered up 1 time in the night, but for the most part, I played it as a removal spell, a board clogger, right? They have something big down, they throw, I had people play this Kree guy against me, whatever it was, the Kree Sentinel. And if you've got a 2/2 Death Toucher, it stops that. It stops that. And it stops their Hulks. It stops everything. All of a sudden, there's a Death Toucher on the board. They don't. How do I get around it? Death Touch is a beautiful keyword. I love it so much. That card was very useful. This card speaks for itself. Hour of Defeat, 4 mana, destroy target creature, and surveil 1. So, removal is king. Removal is everything in limited. This got rid of some of the biggest creatures in the game for me. I got rid of a powered up Hulk, which was, what is he, a 9/9 or 10/10, something ridiculous. The Hulk that comes out powered up. Hour Defeat. Not only that, but you get that Surveil 1. So you're fixing your draws for the next turn. At instant speed. Love that card. Um, Oftentimes, I would play it on my turn to clear the way to attack. So, um, yeah, play it however you need to, but love that card. This card was actually very valuable. The Red Room Recruit. Again, it's a villain, 2 mana, 1/2. When it enters, connive. So connive is draw a card, discard a card. If you discarded an on-land card, it gets a 1/1 counter. I did both. There were times where I would discard a land if I was full on lands and not take the counter. There are times I did take the counter early on, especially get a 2/3 ready to attack. That's nice. That draw one, discard one is huge, though. You're fixing your hand, you're fixing your mana, you're fixing what you need to fix. Love connive. I think connive is a very, very powerful tool, a very powerful keyword, skill, whatever you want to call it. It's fantastic. And Red Room Recruit, I got in a lot early in the games, and it was fantastic. I love that card. Glad I had it. This made all my villains better. I got this into play a few times. It was brutal every time I did. It is 6 mana. The Masters of Evil. 6 mana. Other villains you control get +2/+1. I never did the second part of it. Discard this card, search your library for a plan card, reveal it, put in your hand. I have no plans in my deck, so it was irrelevant. But I knew I had mostly villains, about 13 of them in the deck, giving every creature I control basically, except for like 2, +2/+1. Huge, huge advantage. Just killer. You'll see a bit later, I had a combo piece with it that was just unbelievable. We'll talk about this combo that happened here as well in the finals. Bullseye Death Dealer. Not as great as I expected it to be, but decent, okay? 3 mana, hybrid black, red, and 2 colorless for a 2/3. When Bullseye enters, you may sacrifice an artifact or discard a non-land card. When you do, Bullseye deals 2 damage to any target. It's a may, so you don't have to do it. And in fact, there were many times where I just played him out to have a body on the board. I think once or twice, though, it was handy. And it is to any target. That 2 damage can go to face. And you can sacrifice the artifacts. So you can sacrifice the robot that I showed you at the beginning to deal the 2 damage. So you get this guy in, you get your Surveil 2, then you sacrifice it to deal 2 damage to something when Bullseye comes into play. Not the best card. Not the best card in the deck by far. But it did serve its purpose, and it was able to ping some little stuff off for me, which was good. The second ability I never used. It's basically 3 mana, tap it, and you can do the same thing as his enter ability. I never got to that stage where I needed to use it, though. However, I did sacrifice Bullseye to something else. We'll get to that here shortly. Abomination, Terrifying Titan. Beautiful card. This card was awesome. So it's a hybrid green, red, and 3 mana. So 4 drop, 4 mana card for a trample 4/4. That alone is huge. It does have the 7 mana, put a 1/1 counter on Abomination, and then he fights up to 1 creature opponent controls. I never used that. Never had to use it. It would be 5/5 fight. That's okay. That's a lot of mana for that. So, but again, you ramp from earlier with the guy I was talking about, the undercover scroll. Play him on turn 2. This guy comes in turn 3 as a 4/4 trample. Tough to slow you down at that stage. In fact, I had that come out one time, and the guy was like, "Boy, this game's getting away fast. I don't know if I can catch up," and he didn't. This card is an all-star for me. U.S. Agent John Walker. When I first read it, when I first played it, I was like, it's good. It's good. Okay. So let's read the card and I'll explain. So it's a hybrid black, white, and 3. So 4 mana for a 3/2 that reads, when U.S. Agent enters, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Sturdy Shield. And equipped creature gets +1/+2 with equip of 2. However, you get to attach it to US Agent immediately. So he comes in as a 4/4 for 4. That's good. That's good. This is a 4/4 for 4 I was just talking about. That's good. Again, we can ramp into I was ramping into these two guys on turn 3, which is huge. But when he dies, that shield stays on the board. That was huge for me many, many times, being able to put that 1/2 using 2 mana, not wasting mana, being able to equip that to something else to give it +1/+2. Now all of a sudden this guy's a 5/6, or the next card I equipped it to. Well, we'll get to there in just a second, but yeah, having that shield linger even after John Walker goes away. He's not a villain. This again, villain, not a villain. So I didn't mind sacrificing him, and I'll show you again. We're gonna get there. All right, here he is. Here he is. Killmonger, Scourge of Wakanda, MVP of the night for me. This card is unreal. Let's read them. We'll talk about it. This won me the game over here. So, 4 mana. He's Gruul. He's a black, a green, and 2 colorless. For a villain, again, he's a villain. When Killmonger enters, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls. Not creature, permanent. A vehicle, anything that an enchantment, an artifact. Anything they have on their side that's an issue, you sacrifice. And again, I sacrificed this guy to him once. I sacrificed this guy to him once. I sacrificed this guy to him once. Being able to sacrifice and kill any permanent is huge. So I sacrifice US John Walker to him, then equip shield to him. But we're not done yet. That's just the first line of text. The second line of text reads, as long as there are 2 or more creatures in your graveyard, which there always is, Killmonger gets +2/+1. So he's a 5/4 almost always. 5/4 that destroys any permanent on your opponent's side of the board. Unbelievable. Then I put super strength on him on the next turn. So then he's a 9/8 with trample and ward 1 that's gotten rid of a creature on my opponent's side. Final game, I was in trouble. The guy had the thing. I forget the exact wording. The thing. I'll put it up here. But what it does is, if another hero deals damage, or him or any hero deals damage, he gets a +2/+1/1 counters. I think I'll put the card up here. Anyway, he had the thing at like 11 strength. My Killmonger was tapped because I had attacked the turn previous. Forget exactly how it worked, but I needed to kill that. Now, I did have you know what it was? I had super strength on it, but I also had the villain buff in. So I had the Masters of Evil in play as well. So he was what was he? He was a 5, 9, 10. So he was like an 11/10, right? Or an 11/9. And I played Hulk Smash because he attacked me with that guy. I had a Masters of Evil to block, so I put that in front and used Hulk Smash to deal the damage. Maybe it was a 13 power thing at that time. It was something. It was really tough. It was doing some serious damage. It was gonna kill me. But that Hulk Smash with super strength, Masters of Evil with Killmonger, I was able to kill a 13 power creature, and he was pretty much GG after that. Next is the card that single-handedly won me at least 2 or 3 games. Fiery Emancipation. Total dumb luck that I drew this card. It's an enchantment. It's 6 mana, 3 colorless, and 3 mountains. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to permanent or player instead. Second game of the night, the judge was actually watching our game. We had a judge at the table watching when I was playing, and I had the big guy. I think I had this guy on the board and this guy on the board. And I dropped Fire Emancipation on the next turn. And again, Baxter Building, I put in the deck specifically to play that card because I knew this would fix me for my mana if I needed it to. Holy moly, when you're doing triple damage, the game ends almost instantly. So Fire Emancipation got me single-handedly won me multiple games. This next card, not the best card. Honestly, I thought it would do more. It's Black Widow Super Spy. It's a mythic. It's 2 mana. Not a villain, unfortunately. Menace for a 2/1 menace. Whenever Black Widow deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may put a 1/1 counter on Black Widow. If you don't, you may cast that card from exile until end of turn, and mana can be spent. Any color can be spent to cast that spell. One time, it really paid off for me, and I was able to attack in. He exiled cards from the top of his library. I got a 4/4 for 4, a white card. I forget what it even was, but it was really good. Um, I mean, it's free resources, right? If you're playing something off the top of their library, you're not wasting cards out of your library, so that or out of your hand, which is good. It just didn't work as much as I had hoped for. And to be fair, I didn't get it early in a lot of games, so I can't really speak to it. But the next card I did, and the next card I played a lot. For some reason, this next card kept coming up, and it worked so well. And we're going to talk about it here. That's Modoc. Let's read Modoc, and I'll explain how it works so well and why it works so well. So Modoc is a 5 mana, very expensive, 2 black and 3 colorless for a villain, flying lifelink 2/2. Ugh, that's expensive. A 2/2 for 5 mana. It has Mental Organism, pay 3 life. Modoc Connives activate only during your turn. So again, you can draw a card, discard a card. If you discard a card, a non-land, you put a 1/1 counter on Modoc. Okay. First off, when Modoc got into play with Masters of Evil, he's a 4/3 flying lifelinker that can connive. Second of all, that ability can be used multiple times. Now, if you use it once, all you have to do is hit with once and you've got your life back. You got to remember when you're hitting a flying lifelinker that's 3 or 4 power, that's a 6-point or an 8-point swing. Not only that, but I had a guy try to kill it with a neg 1 or neg 2 spell. So it was -2/-2 to target creature. But he was playing it at instant speed on my turn. So in response, because this is at instant speed on my turn, I just connived, gave him the counter. And then if he tried to do it again, you can. There's so many ways to abuse this. Yes, you do pay 3 life, but Modoc pays you that life back. Anyway, this card was huge, and there were times where I was able to get um the green super strength on it. Unbelievable. Also, like I said, if you have the villains in play, Masters of Evil in play, he's already a 4/3, 8-point life swing every time he hits, with the ability to connive to do more damage. Modoc was huge. I can't say enough about the card in limited. I don't think he's going to see much play elsewhere, but in limited, he's awesome. So anyway, that was my undefeated deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, let's look at some spoils from Marvel. Because again, I'm not a big fan of Universes Beyond, but some of these cards are just too pretty. So we've got the Mind Stone, of course. Needs no introduction. It's one of Thanos' stones. It's a powerful, powerful card. It's a flash. It's the white stone. We've got more of these coming. I've got the Soul Stone in a commander deck already. The Black Panther. But obviously, this is a dual-sided card. So you got King T'Challa. And then he flips into the Black Panther. My personal favorite card from the set is this Doctor Doom. I love that. Such a cool card. It's just awesome. I love the style. Sorry guys. I love these cards. I think they're so good looking. Captain America and Nick Fury, Agent of Shield. So I don't know that I will collect them all because they are quite pricey. But they certainly are fun cards to collect. So I don't know. I as much as I hate Universes Beyond, this set is a lot of fun. It's fun, guys. It's fun. I like that these aren't they could have gone the movie route, right? They could have done these as the movie characters. They didn't. They did them as the comic books, and that's why I love them. Is it takes me back it takes me back to this, right? I love that. I love that. Um, I've got yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you gained something from this. I'm happy to do more deck techs. Um, I'm not the biggest standard player, modern player, or anything like that, but boy, I draft a lot. I do a ton of drafting. So if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to do some arena drafting, talk some people through some of my thinking. Sealed is my bag as well. I absolutely love sealed. 40 card magic is the best outside of Pauper. Pauper is still the best format. I don't care what anybody says, but drafting and sealed, right there, second best. All right. So thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see down below. Let me know how you did in your drafts. I'm very curious. I'll respond to every comment in the drafts or in the comment section there. I'm curious to know how everybody's doing, what you're drafting, what you're playing with. If you've won, what was your bomb? What was your banger? What was your fiery emancipation? I'd like to know. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon.